And good morning is 7:04 on this Tuesday, March 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on Wednesday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. We're glad to be on the air for Cedarstone Bank, and Bob McDonald is right here with us this morning, President, CEO. Good morning.
Good morning.
It is nice to have you with us.
It's great to be here as you chuckle and as I chuckle, and I come here with hat in hand with apology for messing up our schedule last week.
You don't have to apologize.
I
told you it could happen to the best of us.
Well, I feel horrible. I knew last Tuesday that I wasn't going to be able to make it in. I knew I wasn't going to be able to call in. I had a meeting that I knew I couldn't step out of. So I told myself all day, I need to get someone to fill in for Robert or Melinda or somebody. And just the day got by me, and Susan called me about 7:30 that morning. She said, "Did you get someone to cover Coleman for you?" I said, "No, I completely did not." So my apologies. We've been doing this since 2008, 2007, 2008. And I bet there's only been a few times that someone wasn't here in person.
Very, very few.
Or call in.
Right, yes.
So we take this very seriously, our commitment, and to you and to Susie and to MJ and Billy, I'm just so sorry.
Well, I've got a little folder here with a little information,
Yeah.
and what I don't know off the top of my head, I can read, so we
Well,
did okay.
I'm sure you filled in that 5 or 7 minutes just fine. I'm sure your listeners are glad to not hear my voice for a change.
And I don't think that either, but what do you have for us this morning?
Well, let's talk first about Teacher of the Year.
All right.
It's coming. Our dinner is coming up. It's very soon. Coleman, I think it's Friday, April 21, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I could have that wrong. I can't see your calendar over there. But it's coming close. My colleague Debbie and WP's colleague Susan have been working real hard on that. The most recent task has been we've been collecting all the packets from the 33 Teachers of the Year from around the county. We have 33 Teachers of the Year now coming. When we started, this is the 25th anniversary. When we started this 25 years ago, I think there were 19 Teachers of the Year. We only had 19 schoolhouses. Every schoolhouse has a Teacher of the Year. Public, private, city, county schools. And now we're up to 33. I mean, almost double.
And the way we're growing, that's going to grow.
Yeah, exactly. So we've been collecting these packets, and we've been preparing those to turn over to the committee that's made up of Cumberland University education faculty. None of us know who's on that committee. We redact information from their packets. We cross out their name, where they went to school, anything that might identify them. And so when we submit the packets to them, the 33 teachers are identified by number,
Right.
1 through 33. And so when the committee makes their selection, they'll call us and say, the Teacher of the Year, our selection is number 8 or number 12 or whatever, and then we'll look at our list and see who that is. And that's always exciting. WP and I, we don't want to know until the very end, to the very last possible moment, which is usually about 2 or 3 days before. And the only reason we know then is because we had, by now we've seen the plaques and we've seen the awards.
Right.
And we're signing checks and that kind of stuff. Because people start asking us now, well, who's the winner? Who's the Teacher of the Year? And every year, without doubt, pretty much every year, the committee head will call us and say, well, we've got a tie. We have 3 Teachers of the Year. We say, no, we can't do that. We need 1 Wilson County Teacher of the Year. And they say, well, there's so many strong candidates, it's hard to choose one.
But that's your job.
But yeah, go back one more time, and whatever means you need to arrive at your decision. And we're so thankful for Cumberland's involvement and support. They've been with us from the very beginning. They provide this committee. They allow us to use Bear Chapel. The president of the university has always played a key role in that evening, being keynote speaker or master of ceremonies or something along those lines. And so it's a great partnership with Cumberland, with all the schools, with civic leaders, business leaders, and So we're getting close.
Well, I think we should commend UNWP for not only coming up with the idea, but for implementing it and continuing to carry it on.
Well, we absolutely love it. WP and I both know what an important role that our teachers played in our lives, and I still reflect on things that they taught me over my many years now, and rarely does a day go by that I don't think about one of them as something that they taught me. And so we enjoy it, and we look forward to the dinner coming up. And thank you, Coleman. You've been so supportive over the years. You've always had the Teacher of the Year on your program at some point shortly after.
Do my best.
So thank you for doing that.
Well, we got time to mention free checking this morning.
Free checking. It remains our most important feature at the bank. We think a checking account is critically important, no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, and we offer free checking. It's completely free. However you want to do your banking, you can come in, you can write checks, you can make deposits at the teller window, you can cash checks at the teller window, or if you want to do your banking electronically, you can do that. We have online banking, we have bill pay, we have telephone banking. You can use your ATM or your debit card. That too is free. We have mobile deposit where you can make your deposit with your phone. So any way you want to do your banking, you can do it with us, and it's free.
All right. Thanks for being with us today. We'll do it again next Wednesday.
Thanks, Coleman. Have a great day.
Bob McDonald, President and CEO, Cedarstone Bank, Lebanon, Mount Juliet, Donaldson. Simple banking, simply better. 10:30 after the hour. This is the Wednesday we feature Cumberland University. Rusty Richardson is here. He is the Executive Director of Community Relations and External Affairs, and I get to read that long title every month. Rusty, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
It is nice to see you. I won't introduce your guest. I'll let you have the honors there, but you bring me sort of an agenda, a talking agenda or talking points, however you want to call that, and you've got a full page today. We've got a lot to say.
We've got a lot of information to cover today, and it seems like only yesterday that I was announced on the show that, the semester's just starting.
Yeah.
Well, we're halfway through. The students are on spring break this week. So literally that marks about halfway through the semester. So it's going by quickly. As we announced last month, we do have record spring enrollment, the largest spring enrollment we've ever had. 2319 is the official number. Of course, that's lower than the fall number because we have December graduates and some people don't come back in the spring semester, but we also have new students, transfer students coming in. So that's working well, and we're working hard. Everyone on campus, especially the enrollment services, are looking for that fall class. And the latest information I have indicates they've had over 3,200 applications for the incoming freshman class, which is 200 to 300 higher than they've ever had at this point in the year.
Which indicates you might reach that we can call it a magic number, I guess.
That short-term magic number is a total enrollment of 3,000. And it looks like we're moving in that direction very quickly for the fall of 2023. So we're very happy with that, and certainly want to commend everyone in the admission staff, enrollment services, and also the ones that work on student retention too, because not only do we have to get the students, but we have to do everything in our power to help them be successful and retain them.
Well, I think we could say this for several years, but Cumberland is really on the move.
Absolutely.
You really are.
There's so much going on all the time at Cumberland, some of which you'll hear about today in one of the particular programs, and just so much going on that we love to talk about it.
And I know you're happy to be there and be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I look forward to going to work every single day.
That's good. All right. How about introducing our guest this morning?
Yes, this is a return guest for me. Last month we had two of our deans. Well, this month we have the third dean. We have three schools, the way we're divided up. And my guest this morning is Dr. Mary Beth Griffith. She's the dean of the Rudy School of Nursing and Health Professions. And she has lots of information to share this morning.
Well, good morning and welcome again to our program.
Good morning, and thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Well, what's the big thing with you right now?
Well, we've got a lot going on in the Rudy School. First, we are thrilled to announce that our 2022 pass rate is available now, and we had a 96.72% pass rate for the year of 2022. Now, I always round that up to 97, so a 97% pass rate, and that's we're sixth of all the 48 nursing programs in the state of Tennessee, and we're thrilled with that.
Well, as we say, that's something you can hang your hat on right there, isn't it?
I like that. I'm very proud of the work that the students and the faculty have done to accomplish that, and now we're into the next year.
Well, I see here we need to talk about a community project grant and Congressman John Rose.
Oh, this has been just a wonderful thing for us. Congressman John Rose was able to help us receive a community project grant of $750,000 to use to buy equipment in the nursing program. And we needed simulation equipment, which is a big way for us to practice things in the campus lab before they go to the hospital to actually do those things. And we didn't have all the equipment we needed, and it's very expensive. So this is going to allow us to complete our simulation lab experiences, and we are so appreciative of his work to help us achieve that, and we're looking forward to spending it. So that's our next step.
All right, one other thing here, Jeanette Travis Foundation grant.
Well, that's another grant that we've received we're thrilled about. We've received a $600,000 grant from the Jeanette Travis Foundation. Now, that's over 3 years. We'll get $200,000 every year. And we already have identified additional simulation equipment and learning aids that we're going to use. So this has been a major accomplishment for our nursing program and is really going to take us to another level.
Well, we can see how this means so much just to hear you talk.
Oh, it really does. Yeah. I hope that excitement comes across in my voice because this is an unusual thing for a nursing program to get this big of a shot in the arm, a small private college. So we're so appreciative of it, and it's going to make a major difference.
Okay, I hate to interrupt, but we got to take a break here. We'll talk more in a moment with our friends from Cumberland here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And it's 7:17. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. We want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Quite a bit of traffic volume coming through Robertson County right now, especially on 24 coming in from Clarksville, Montgomery County. That all looks pretty good at the moment now. 65 still a little bit heavy south of the Kentucky state line through that section of Portland. I still see about a 10-minute delay there. 65 southbound at the Portland exit from an early morning wreck that we had. It's pretty busy over here now on 40 westbound as well, coming past Central Pike through Hermitage. Behind it, you got that push coming in from Wilson County. Nash Painting services all of Middle Tennessee. These guys are absolutely the best. Check out their ratings online at nashpainting.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Live it up with the deal of a lifetime from TDS. Get symmetrical 1 gig fiber internet for only $59.99 a month, and the price is locked for life. Same price today, next year, the year after, you get the idea. Plus, no contract and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Future-proof, inflation-proof, super-fast 1 gig internet, only $59.99 a month for life. Life's good. Visit tdstv.com/lifetime. Internet speeds are up to and not guaranteed. Subject to availability. See website for details.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us this morning, featuring Cumberland University, Lester Richardson with us, and also Dr. Mary Beth Griffin, Dean of the Rudy School of Nursing and Health. Well, Dr. Griffin, back to you. And I guess the next thing we want to talk about is CNEST, the Center for Nursing Education, Simulation and Training. What's that all about?
That's right. We have rented an additional building from Vanderbilt Hospital there beside our program at McFarland Hall, and we have redone that and created 3 new labs and an additional classroom. And we did that to enhance our simulation learning. And now these 2 grants I just spoke about have allowed us to purchase equipment and are going to be purchasing more things. To give you an example of how helpful these are, each of these simulation mannequins cost about $70,000 a piece. So they are very expensive pieces of equipment. So this has made a major difference for us.
And I take it that's pretty much the latest thing going.
It is the latest
which means a lot to you as well.
It really does. It makes them much safer and more competent practitioners because they can practice things that they really won't get to practice in the hospital because the nurses are doing things that might be critical occurrences, and they get to practice that in the lab so that it's not the first time they've ever seen it when it happens to them, like someone having a cardiac arrest.
Well, this maybe get you a step ahead of some of the other places where nursing is taught?
Well, it definitely puts us in a leader position, that's for sure. And that is our vision for our nursing program, is to be a regional leader nursing program. So we're excited.
Well, let's talk about the new LPN to BSN program. And you might tell me what those LPN, licensed
A licensed practical nurse,
Okay.
that's right. And this is a pathway that we're very excited about. It's a new program. It'll be opening in the fall. And it's where that someone that has earned an LPN licensure, and they take their program through the Tennessee TCATs, Tennessee College of Applied Technology, which are spread throughout the state. And this is a path for them to earn their BSN. And the reason it's unique is they can always come and just enter our nursing program that's currently available. But this takes into account what they learned in their LPN program and starts them then at what needs to be added to help them achieve the Baccalaureate of Science in Nursing. So it's a quicker pathway. It's a pathway that takes into account what they already know, and we're really excited about that. It also takes into account that they're working nurses. So they'll be on campus 1 day a week, and they will be learning in a hybrid manner. There will also be some online work and then work in the hospital.
And let's talk about the CNA program.
Well, we've had a request from hospital systems as well as long-term care facilities in the area to see if we can begin a certified nursing assistant program, because there's a need for more of those in both of those types of facilities. So we're hoping to begin that this summer. So we've got a lot of new things churning around.
Well, I believe it. What the CNA, the
Certified nursing
yeah.
assistant.
Where does that fall in the scheme of things?
They're actually the people that work alongside the RN and the LPN in the nursing home and in the healthcare facilities, the hospitals, and they help do what we call the activities of daily living. They'll take vital signs, they'll help give baths, make beds, help the clients up to the bathroom and to walk. And so they do a lot of the hands-on work and work alongside the licensed personnel.
But there needs to be some training for that. So,
Absolutely.
So that's what we're talking about.
Absolutely, because they're also the eyes at the bedside a lot of time that alert the nurse that, hey, you need to come look at this.
All right, the nursing scholars at Vanderbilt.
Well, this is another exciting program that we've just had begun. Vanderbilt University Medical Center has set up the Nursing Scholars Program. They will award scholarships to nursing students to assist them to pay for their nursing program, because we have students that have a lot of trouble finding the money. Even though we do help with some scholarships at Cumberland, it's not a cheap program, and so they need help to achieve their degree. And Vanderbilt is going to be granting that in a scholarship over 4 semesters, and then the students guaranteed of a job when they quit or when they graduate at Vanderbilt, and it's a major benefit to our students and to Vanderbilt also.
You were talking about hoping your enthusiasm showed or whatever. It really does, and you can just tell how I can listening to you and watching you speak here how proud you are and really of how far you have come and what all you're able to offer. If you couldn't even a while back. I mean, the program has really grown, hasn't it?
It really has, and our hope is, well, our plan is to actually increase enrollment. Now we've added space, we've added equipment, we've added faculty, and we've added financing. So we've got everything in place to increase the enrollment. And the reason is there's a shortage of registered nurses in the Middle Tennessee area, and that's not safe. And so it's our responsibility to enhance the number of nurses that will take care of all of us when we need them.
Right. Well, should have asked you this in the beginning, but let me ask you now about yourself. How long have you actually been at Cumberland?
Well, that may tell something here now. I've been a nurse for 45 years. I've been in nursing education for 30 plus years, and I've been at Cumberland for 5 years.
5 good years?
5 good years.
Well,
Sounds like they're great years to me.
I think so. I appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
Rusty, back to you. We've got a lot to talk about here in about 6 minutes.
We've got a lot to throw in. With the spring, all the spring sports are up and running and going full swing. And literally, in some of them, when I say full swing, I mean full swing. The baseball team has had 6 wins in a row, and that always gets a lot of attention
Yes.
to Cumberland. The record, I think, is 12-4-1 right now after the win yesterday. So
For
they're-
baseball, that's not good. That's excellent.
That's excellent.
Yes.
That's almost an 800 percentage. So they're doing very well.
And anything over 700 is really good.
Yes. But that's not the only sport going on, of course. We just, Jason Bowers, one of our members of our track and field team, just won a 4th national championship in a race that he ran. That's the 4th championship in the history of our track and field program, the 10th national championship for the university. So we keep adding those to the mix.
Well, congratulations to Jason Bauer.
Jason, it's a shame it's a shame he's so slow. He ran the mile in 4 minutes and I think 3 seconds. I'm not sure I can drive a mile in 4 minutes and 3 seconds, but and looking at other sports, women's golf just took 3rd in a big tournament, the Wolfpack Invitational. So there's so much going on, and I encourage people to go to the athletic website and see what games are coming up. Softball's in full swing, just so much going on in that regard. So that's
Well-
always exciting in the spring.
Well, I feel sure Woody's looking over Ryan's shoulder and very happy about the baseball.
Maybe just a little. Maybe just a little. We do have a number of upcoming events that I want to talk about. We are accepting applications right now for Camp Fame. That's the Fine Arts Matter in Education. That's the summer camp, a week-long camp in late June for 3rd graders through graduates in high school or graduating seniors in high school. Applications are currently open for that, but they close in about 2 weeks. So yeah, families and listeners have either children or grandchildren that may be interested in that program. They can find those applications on the Cumberland website, but I encourage them to do that now because they're filling up quickly.
And when you fill up, you're full.
When we fill up, we're absolutely full. We can't take any more. That camp actually has 5 different camps as part of it. There's a camp for fine art, for dance, for theater, for band, and for choral, for a choir.
Okay, so take your
So
choice.
lots of activity going on with that. That is a day camp. It's not an overnight camp. So that more information is on the website on that. We do have a couple of upcoming events where we're honoring some people that have had big legacies at Cumberland University. On March 20th, we're going to be honoring and dedicating the Dr. Joe and Pat Bryant Family Welcome Center, which is really the front door to the campus. When people come in for admissions, for recruitment, they have a welcome center just inside Memorial Hall. And Dr. Joe Bryant was a longtime chairman of the board. Of course, Pat Bryant and her family have been very supportive of Cumberland for many years, and we're so happy to dedicate that space in their honor. So that's on January 20th. 2 days later, we have our library lecture series with Dr. Carol Busey. And Dr. Carol Busey is a new addition to Cumberland. She is our very first distinguished university professor. That's an official title that she has. She's one of the preeminent historians in the state of Tennessee on Tennessee history, on Nashville history. And on that day, she's going to be giving a lecture on distinguished women in Tennessee history. So for history buffs out there, that's free and open to the public. It'll be at 2 o'clock that afternoon on March 22nd. And then the next event, just the very next day, many people, many of your listeners have at some point in their lives sat on the front porch at Cracker Barrel waiting to get their table.
Oh, yes.
Well, Danny Evans was very involved with Cumberland for a number of years on the board, and we are dedicating the front porch of Cumberland, that new entrance into Memorial Hall, in his memory, and that event will take place on March 23rd. So
It's going to tell some Danny Evans stories that day.
There will be people telling those stories. I don't know many of those stories, but I'm sure there are others that do.
Well, I think this is great. Here's two local people, really local legends, Dr. Joe Bryant and Pat and Danny Evans, and dedicating a portion at a place at Cumberland in their honor and their memory.
Absolutely. And as much as we like to look to the future and look at the growth and look at all the fun things happening, great things happening, it's always good to take time to honor who has gotten us here to this point.
Yeah.
And certainly those families have done their share or more to help Cumberland succeed. And some of those years were pretty lean when they were involved. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Without a doubt.
Yes.
Got one last thing.
One
right?
last thing. On April 17th, we will be having an event on campus, the Holocaust Remembrance Event. And we have a special speaker coming to that who is I believe, a 93-year-old survivor of the Holocaust. Will be speaking to our students and faculty and visitors on that day, remembering that event. And it's so important that we remember that so we don't repeat it in the future.
Right.
So lots of things coming up. And again, they can find more information about this on the Cumberland website at www.cumberland.edu.
Thank you so much. A great program this morning. And
Thanks,
Dr.
Coleman.
Mayor Bess Griffith, thank you for being with us. I think you've told the nursing story really well, and we appreciate having you.
Thank
and
you.
Rusty, you always do a great job. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Coleman.
That's
See you
part
next
one
month.
of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it here for more. FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get a battery installed on most vehicles, $134.95. Bates Ford, 1673 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Right now, what we see is some heavy traffic here on Vietnam Vets coming westbound at Conference Drive. It still wants to run a little bit heavy from time to time on 65 southbound, just trying to get down through Goodlettsville, Millersville. Traffic still decent right now, 24 up through the Hickory Hollow area. Now it's heavy on 24 westbound, leaving Antioch, Rutherford County, headed towards Nashville. Princess Hot Chicken is catering. Check out that awesome menu today at princesshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
When you needed portable heating, cooling, generators and remediation equipment, contractor tools, or any other equipment or solution to help you get the job done, you trusted Absolute Rental and Supply. Now that same team brings you more equipment and more solutions as Herc Rentals. From construction and industrial to HVAC and homeowner, Herc Rentals has the gear and expertise to get jobs done efficiently, effectively, and safely. Visit us today at 1325 Main Street in Lebanon or online at hercrentals.com. That's HERCrentals.com.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Medora Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
The Red Hot Cumberland Phoenix baseball team will return home for a 3-game Mid-South Conference homestand against Shawnee State, starting Friday at 2 o'clock with a single game, and then Saturday at noon with a doubleheader. Catch all the action on these radio stations or on GoCumberlandAthletics.com. Go Phoenix!
A cloudy and cooler day in store for us, and we will see another round of rain before the end of the week. Look for temperatures climbing through the 40s this morning, heading for a high of 56 today. Rain chances increase for Thursday, and we could see rain into Friday morning as well.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number 1 Ned.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Wednesday morning. We've got Dave Hurst with us. He's Assistant Branch Manager at Herc Rentals. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Good to see you. You always come in here and do a great job telling us all about what's happening there at 1325 West Main, Herc Rentals. You've been there for a while, and Assistant Branch Manager. You're in charge when Keith isn't around, right?
That's correct, yes.
What you got for us today?
Well, today, we're getting into the spring weather, so just want to make everyone aware, we're still carrying the same things we did as Absolute Rental. We've got tillers, we've got the aerators, carrying seed, straw, fertilizers, that type of thing, all the stuff you would need to get your lawn ready to roll. Of course, we'll continue to carry the mulch. We carry black and brown mulch as well.
Do people use pressure washers this early in the year?
When it gets warm, they do. We've had last week we had a couple go out, had a couple warm days, and guys came in and grabbed some. So yes,
but you do have those as well as all of the earlier mentioned things there. But just about anything when it comes to equipment and tools, you've got really
correct. Yes,
and of course your website hercrentals.com, and that's HERC. I think you've got a commercial going here where you spell that out. HERC. Herc Rentals. HercRentals.com, that's the website, and a lot of information right there, but you most times are still going to need to call 615-443-RENT before you get to take that equipment home or have it delivered.
Right. Even if you do a reservation online, we still will call you, just because you can't fill out all the forms. There's not all the questions can be answered through an online reservation. So we're still going to call just to make sure there's nothing that we miss and still make sure you're getting the right piece of equipment.
Well, let me ask you. I don't think I've asked this since, and it's been it'll soon be a year. It's been 9 months or something since it became Herc Rentals. The community, I think, has accepted, has gravitated to this. Some of the new ways new equipment and tools and everything you have. No doubt they appreciate that because you got more.
Correct.
But I think it's been well accepted, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. And I'll be honest, change is hard for anyone. Even me as an individual, as a person, change is always hard. But I think as a whole, yes, it's gone very well. It's been a lot of good things that we've done over the past 9 months, and we're going to continue to grow and evolve. And the things that I think that made us valuable to the community was having some of those smaller things, having the mulch needs and some of that stuff will continue to stay. Our goal is to continue to serve the community here in Lebanon, Wilson County. Yes.
Well, you no doubt have branched out even more and are still growing. You were needing some employees, or do you still need one or two?
We're always looking for good people. People always ask me that. Are you hiring? I'm like, hey, we're always looking for good people. So don't hesitate to come into the store, talk to me, or you can go online. You can fill out, submit your resume and everything online. A recruiter will reach out to you. But not only at our branch, but also our Nashville branch, still looking for people.
Well, it'd have to be somewhat of a fun place to work, I think. I don't think you're slave drivers and the variety of the different tools and equipment and all and the other things that you have and I would think a good bunch of people to work with.
Oh yeah, we try to have a lot of fun. We work hard, we play hard. That's kind of my motto at the branch. We like to. I think everybody has a good time. We all try to foster a real family community there with each other. Respect each other and have a lot of fun while we're working. So.
Well, as far as when a new piece of equipment comes on, you can't wait too long to get that. You want to stay up to date, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're constantly turning over our fleet. So between us and Nashville, we actually just did an eval, and basically our equipment fleet right now is average about only about 3.5 years old. That's about the oldest that we'll keep. Yep.
Do you ever sell any to the?
Oh yeah, we do. Right now, I've probably got a list of 15 different pieces that we would be ready to sell and ready to move. So. Yep.
Well, of course, for a lot of people, it's really not monetarily efficient to go get that tool or equipment. If you're not going to use it often, it's better to rent it from you.
Right.
But then there's sometimes that maybe the shoe's on the other foot, and if so, you sell it after a while.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So we try to cater to all the needs. Like I said, we have very good records. We do very good servicing on all of our equipment. So we try to make sure that when we sell it, that it's going to go for a while. So.
All right. Well, you got a great location there, 1325 West Main, and Herc Rentals. You can't hardly miss it if you're looking to the north when you go west on West Main.
That's right. We just got the sign painted, so look for the big yellow sign. So.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thanks for being with us. Hopefully, we'll see you next Wednesday.
Thanks, Coleman.
All righty. Thank you. Dave Hurst, Assistant Branch Manager for Herc Rentals, 1325 West Main in Lebanon, 615-443-RENT, and that website, hercrentals.com. All right. Want to welcome Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell. He's right here with us this morning. Mayor, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
You want to talk basketball?
We can talk whatever you want to talk about.
Well, I tell you what, Tennessee's got a player hurt, or maybe two, that's out. Vanderbilt's really big 7-footer got hurt in a Kentucky game, out for the season, and that kind of puts a damper on things, really.
It does. Vanderbilt lost, which, their best player, I would think, and Tennessee lost their point guard, Zakai Ziegler, and they really don't have a point guard right now. So going into the postseason, that kind of situation is pretty tough. But
you realize that they and Missouri all finished with the same conference record?
I saw
really
that.
Tied for fourth,
Yep.
but because Missouri, I believe, had beaten the Vols, so they got
did.
the fourth seed.
Mhm.
And Tennessee won more in their match with Vanderbilt than Vanderbilt did in their win,
Yep.
winning only by 1 point,
Yep.
and barely then. So they got 6, and Tennessee's 5th. But that's why they play them.
It is, and of course Tennessee early on in the season was really good,
Yes.
and then they started to fall off a bit. They lost to Vanderbilt, lost to Missouri, and started getting some injuries, and now they lost their point guard. So basketball is it's a marathon, and it's really one of those sports where you have to reach your peak in the postseason, and neither one of them are reaching their peak right now.
But it's a shame. It's a shame to lose a very valuable member of your starting team.
It is.
At this time of the year and out for the rest of the season. I'm not sure about your point guard, but is he coming back?
He'll be back. He's a sophomore, but he'll be back next year. But he's done
not
for this
year.
Okay. Yeah, he tore his ACL.
And so that just really puts a damper on things. And my enthusiasm is not as high. My expectation, let's say, is not without Robbins. He's a great player.
Oh, he is a great player, and you're right. When you lose a player like that, somebody who's dynamic and somebody who really leads the team, that's a big blow, and it does take wind out of the sails of fans. But as players on the team, I know they're all looking at they just have to step up and play harder and. Because they're right in the middle of it, but as fans, it's tough to watch.
Yeah. Well, we better get to the subject at hand this morning, but now you're kind of getting like Mike Jennings. when Mike comes in, everybody knows we're going to talk a little UT.
Hey, I like it. I'll talk about UT for 30 minutes if you want to. We can talk about all kinds of things. We can talk about football, baseball, basketball, women's basketball.
One thing I will mention, Cumberland was just here, and you have a great part of Cumberland's history, being the history professor for a while, and I know you're glad to see them doing well and approaching a 3,000 enrollment this fall. You probably miss a little bit of that.
That's been a goal for a long time. Ever since Dr. Stone's been president, he's been looking at that 3,000 number. So, been inching closer every year, and I'm glad they're getting there. I taught history at Coleman for 19 years, and it's still a big part of my life. Every once in a while, I'll go by campus and have lunch with Fred Hefner, who I used to work with a lot, and Bill McKee, and it's really good to keep that connection. And Cumberland's a big part of my life. Not only was I a teacher there, I went to school there. I graduated from Cumberland, and it's really a big part of our community as well. And when Cumberland does well, Lebanon does well, and so I'm really happy to do that. And Rusty does a great job coming out here and talk about what's happening up there.
Yeah, I think so too.
Before the show, I was talking to Billy, and he told me that Cumberland's won 6 straight games, and of course, Rusty just said that in baseball, which is awesome. But I'm also glad that Rusty talked about some of the other sports, because Cumberland is really good in several sports. But baseball gets a lot of the headlines. But there are a lot of student athletes there, a lot of students. And the thing about Cumberland is this that I always think about is, if you go around town, you can see businesses that have been opened by Cumberland students but they came here from somewhere else. They came to Cumberland, they came to Lebanon, and they stayed here. And they opened businesses here and became part of our community here. And that's really important, too.
Okay, let's get to last night's city council meeting. You had a pretty big docket, didn't you?
We did, and we had a lot happen last night, but I cannot talk about last night without mentioning that we honored Debbie Jessen last night. How
nice.
She's retiring March 24th, and we're going to have a big retirement party for her. But last night we surprised her by giving her the Legends of Lebanon Award.
Oh, great.
And her family was there. Her mom came in from East Tennessee.
And this was all a surprise.
It was a surprise.
Oh,
she had no idea. And I want to thank Tanya Jones who helped me out with that, and Lisa Lane, who helped me out with that. They kept it a secret. But as I said, her family came in. 2 former mayors that Debbie worked with, Philip Craghead and Bernie Ash, they came last night to help. And after the meeting, we took a lot of pictures. And Debbie deserves that. She's worked at City of Lebanon for 29 years, and she supported 4 mayors for 29 years. And the most amazing stat is that she has prepared the agenda and attended over 850 city council meetings. It's so,
oh boy,
yeah, and so
probably been bored at times.
Probably. So every 2 weeks she's working hard.
Yeah,
and so I really felt like she deserved that. We've been working on that for a while. Steve, Debbie's husband, really helped out with a lot of the information that we put into that. But it was, I think she was really surprised last night.
I am so glad to hear that you've done that, and having been given that Legends of Lebanon Award myself, I really appreciated that, and I know she will. But I mean, to have worked there with 4 mayors,
yeah,
that's something.
It really is, and
I think she ought to write a book. But
absolutely, and she says that. I'll say she threatens that.
Well, I'll tell you this: some time ago, I got her private number because every once in a while she had, and when I couldn't find somebody else or needed an answer quickly, you could depend on her.
Oh, that's exactly right. If you need something at the city, you talk to Debbie, and she'll get it done. And
she's done that a few times for me. Thank you very much.
She has, and I know I know for me, and I know for the other 3 mayors, we couldn't do it without her. And here in a few weeks, we're gonna have to try because she'll be gone. But but she's still gonna be around town, and a big part of the community. She
and
just
that
won't
phone
be
will be ringing for a while after she leaves.
I'm sure we'll have questions.
All right, well that's great. Congratulations, Debbie Jessen. We got to take a break right here. Lebanon Mayor Rick Bell, my guest. More coming up on Coleman and Company FM 98.9.
Into 747. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks, Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot, write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. There's still that delay as you come out of Kentucky on 65 southbound. We had a crash earlier around the Portland area. It seems like it's never recovered. Actually, it's gotten worse on 65 southbound. There at the Portland exit through that stretch of Robertson County. Busy right now, Vietnam Vets, as you get on that ramp to 65 going southbound. There's a car up against the wall on 40 westbound out there in Hermitage. It's going to be just past OHB, and it's got traffic extra slow coming in from Wilson County through that stretch of Hermitage. Snapdragon Hemp, serving up lab-tested, top-shelf hemp products, edibles, flowers, concentrates. You can order online at snapdragon420.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Simple banking, simply better. Since 2004, that's been our motto at Cedarstone Bank. I'm Bob McDonald. We know that financial decisions can sometimes be complicated, but that doesn't mean solutions have to be. Whether you're buying a new home, renovating your existing home, or buying a car, or maybe you're a business that needs to purchase equipment for the building you operate from, we have all the technology that will allow you to do your banking online or on the telephone, or you can come in one of our beautiful branches and see our great people. With locations in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Nashville, Cedarstone Bank. Simple banking, simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us, and thanks to Mayor Rick Bell. Let's get to more. Last night, Debbie Jessen night at the City Council, and she is honored with the Legends of Lebanon and appreciation from the former mayors and all of this, and that's great. But we got to move on.
Well, yeah, and there were several other things on the agenda last night that I need to talk about. One is T.O. Cragwall has agreed to serve another term on the Airport Commission. He's been on the Airport Commission since 1978. So he's going to continue that in that role, and I really appreciate that because he knows everything about the airport.
A member, but not chairman.
Well, he has been chairman in the past.
Yeah.
But William Westmoreland is the chairman now.
Right, yeah.
So he's going to continue to be a member. And then Nick Hayes is going to serve another term on the Planning Commission, so I appreciate him doing that. But in the agenda part of the meeting, though, there are a few things that happened that I do need to talk about. Chief Justice has been talking for a couple of years now about having a new animal control facility. The one they have now is behind the police station, and of course it's behind a gate. And it's a tough situation because we do adopt animals, and so it's really difficult for people to actually adopt animals from us when they're in a protected area. So he's been wanting a new animal control facility. So last night on second reading, the city council approved for us to go out and get a contract with someone to design an animal control facility and actually get that process started. So that's something that's important that the Chief Justice and the animal control guys have been wanting for a while. So
you have an idea for a location?
We do. There's some land that we're acquiring over on the bypass near New Leash on Life in the dog park.
Oh, okay.
And it's also where Chris McAteer has his vet clinic. So there's some land over there that we're getting, and we felt like that was a good place for this because it's in an area that already caters to adoptions and health for animals and those types of things. So it's going to be kind of that area there.
What kind of money are we talking about?
Right now, we don't know because we're looking at the design. So, we want to take it step by step. And obviously, design is going to cost something, to get that done. But it's not like building a building. So we'll find out once that's finished. Also, last night on second reading, the city council adopted a new sign ordinance for the city, and this is something that that I pushed for the planning department to really put out there to work on. It passed planning commission, and now it's passed city council. And what this is about is a couple of things. One is any new buildings, businesses that are built from now on, they will put up monument signs. This is something that's already out in the Hartman Drive overlay, where if you have a business, you put a sign out front, it's going to be a sign that sits low to the ground instead of one that's on a pole up in the air. We feel like that's just for a city, it's a cleaner look, it's a better look, and that's just a move into the future to help beautify the city. People can still advertise their businesses, but it's just going to be in a different way rather than a big pole. But also, there's another aspect of that. If there's an older building in town that somebody's going to demolish and build something else on, one of the things that we have discovered is that oftentimes they will leave the old sign up so the new business can use that sign.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is if you tear down a commercial building to build a new one, you're going to have to tear the sign down too and put a monument sign up. And so that way, as time passes, we can head more and more in that direction to have those monument signs. Now, this sign ordinance also looks at temporary signs too. And there's a lot of aspects to this, but just to give you an example, we have a lot of new businesses open in town, and when they do, they have a grand opening. And a lot of times those grand openings, they'll put up these flags and some blow up things and things like that. And we found out that sometimes they leave those up there for a long time.
Yeah.
And the grand opening lasts for a while, so we're going to put a time limit on that, and really try to beautify the city through that way.
This ordinance specify how long?
Yeah, so like for a grand opening, you can have your grand opening signs up for 30 days. And then after that, then they need to come down. So this is something we've been thinking about for a long time, and I felt like that it was just time to go ahead and do it, and the council agreed.
Has there been much opposition to this, maybe from some businesses?
There hasn't. There hasn't because, when it comes to the permanent signs, it really doesn't affect a current business. If you already have a business and your sign is up, then you have your sign. And this is really for new construction, businesses that aren't built yet. And when they come in, they'll need to follow new rules. So they'll know it ahead of time that this is what they'll need to do.
All right. Was the vote unanimous?
It was. It was unanimous. It's been unanimous all the way through. And so I appreciate that. And one other thing last night, too, we had the deep freeze back in December.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people around town, their yards, our shrubs are dying, too. And so last night, we started the process to purchase new shrubs to go around the square. Lee Clark sponsored that. And as we all know, the square is very dynamic now. And we will make sure it continues to look good. So we've already started that process to get those shrubs taken out and new ones to replace.
It's just a replacement thing.
Yeah.
But because of the extremely cold weather, they didn't make it.
They didn't make it. They didn't make it. So Lee's been keeping an eye on those, and he told me just a few weeks ago that we thought we might get away with it, but he said, "No, we better go ahead and replace them." So that's what we're going to do.
What else you got?
Well, we have some events coming up that I'd like people to know about. On March 29th at the Capitol Theater, I'll be having my State of the City address. So we'll recap some of the things that's happened over the past year and also look to the future as well. So if you want to come out to that, it'll be at lunchtime. Just contact the Chamber of Commerce, and they're organizing that, putting that together. So
you get into a financial much when you talk about.
I do. I'll talk about the budget process coming up, and I'll talk about how things have gone the past year, and we'll talk about some other things as well. About infrastructure improvements we've made. One of the things I've asked for the department heads to give me information about what's happened in their departments that they want me to share, and so we'll brag about them a little bit. But it's a speech I look forward to every year because again communication is a big part of my job, and this is just another way to get the word out there. And I appreciate people who come to it. It's also a way to support the Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
It's really a fundraiser for them. So come on out to the Capitol and we'll talk about some
March
things.
29th.
March 29th.
All right.
And then also coming up next month is our annual spring cleanup time, where our street department gets out and we'll if you put things out by the road in your yard, they'll come pick it up. Things that you want to get rid of. It goes from April 3rd to April 14th. But I need to say this: it goes over 2 weeks. If you want things picked up the first week, you'll need to have them out by the morning of April 3rd. And then if you want things picked up the second week, you'll need to have the items out by the morning of April 10th. Because, as you know, we cover a lot, and it may take a few days to get to you, but we could get to you that first day. So please get your stuff out there if you want us to come by and help you do some spring cleaning, and we'll make sure that happens.
Do you really go over all the residential area of the city?
Well,
just about.
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about. And
I mean, we're kind of spread out.
we are. We're really spread out. But they do a great job. They go through the residential areas and cover everything. And they've really already been doing it because after the winds last week, a lot of people had sticks and limbs that came down, so people are putting those by the road, and they've been going out and getting those. It's going to take time for that. But this is something these guys are good at.
But this is just residential. It's not business.
No, it's not business. It's residential. And there's some other things, too. If there's a house that's vacant, we don't pick up anything there. If there's a vacant lot, we don't pick up anything there either. This is for a house that that you're living in and you need to do some spring cleaning. We'll come and help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this has been going on for a long time. It's nothing really new. It's been tweaked a little bit.
It has.
And it's been shortened. At one time, it took the whole month of April to do it, I
It
think.
did. Yeah,
but,
it did.
But you kind of got it streamlined.
We do, and Lee and his guys do a great job. And after all these years, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And as you said, they tweak it every year to try to make it more efficient. But it's a service that we're happy to provide, and I think people appreciate it.
Oh, I think they do too.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, and we'll haul it off for you. There is another update that I want to give. The Carver Lane traffic signal is something we've talked about a lot out here, and the poles are up. And usually the poles are what takes so long, but now it's the lights.
Oh.
And what's happened is when you hook up the lights, typically you bore under the road to hook up both sides to get the wiring in. And the contractor has tried to bore under the road a couple times. They've broken their drill bit more than once. And so there's something under the road there that they can't get through.
Wow.
So they're going to have to actually cut the road and lay the wire that way, which obviously it's a 5-lane state road, which is, this is not something you want to do, but they're going to have to. And as soon as they get the approval for that, they're going to put that wire in and put the lights up.
How long will it take to do? You got to.
I don't have a time frame on that. I mean, they're going to get done as quickly as possible.
Right.
But we really expect it to be finished by now, but that's caused a problem. And then once the lights go up, they have to flash for about 7 to 8 days. But I promise it's getting worked on, and it's going to be up soon.
Just an unexpected obstruction there that you got to overcome.
It is. And I will say this, and I've said it before. People often ask me about when you come off the bypass onto Main Street there and you're trying to turn right, there's a sign that says no right on red.
Right.
And everybody always says, or asks the question, what is that about? Well, that's to allow people from Carver Lane to have a break in traffic. As soon as this light gets up, the no right on red sign is coming down. And so you can turn right. But I get that question all the time, and I just want to make sure that people know that sign is coming down.
That'll be great. Well, thanks for being with us today. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Lebanon, Mayor Rick Bell. And that's it for Wednesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow. And until then, I wish you a wonderful day.